release Kelsey and fight or try and drag her out of the train car. Conryu stepped over the unconscious figure and advanced down the hall. The still-standing guard thrust Kelsey in front of him. "Don't come any closer." "Or what? You expect me to believe you might hurt your employer's daughter?" Conryu concentrated on Kelsey. "Cloak of darkness." Liquid black covered Kelsey from head to toe. "Gah!" The guard thrust her away from him. He clearly had no idea what the spell did, just as Conryu had hoped. Conryu pulled Kelsey behind him. Maria stood in the doorway and held out her hand. "Come on." Kelsey hesitated for just a moment before ducking into the cabin. Maria nodded to him, slammed the door shut, and snapped the lock. Conryu stared at the still-conscious guard. "Just you and me now. If you want to leave, I promise I won't tell anyone." The guard fell into a fighting stance. "You took Freddy by surprise. I won't go down so easy." "Did you see what I did to his gun? I could do that to your head just as easily." The guard's Adam's apple bobbed as sweat poured down his face. Conryu didn't actually know if such a simple spell would blast the guard's head to bits, though it stood to reason the spell affected living flesh as well as it did non-living material. The truth was, even if it did work that way, he wouldn't do it. But Freddy's pal didn't know that. The guard lowered his fists. "You don't understand. If we go back without Lady Kincaid's daughter, she'll fire us at best." Conryu didn't have much sympathy for men who would kidnap a girl just because their employer told them to. "Try to look on the bright side. At least you'll still be alive to search for a new job." He stepped back over Freddy, who was now groaning on the floor, and stood beside his cabin door. Conryu raised his hand. "Take him and go. Last warning." All right. Just so you know, I'm blaming you for all this." The guard collected his partner, and the pair of them stumbled off the train. Conryu sighed and lowered his hand. They'd bought his bluff. Thank goodness. Conryu waited until the two goons were off the train before he turned and knocked. "They're gone. Let me in." A second later, the lock clicked open and he slid the door aside. Maria returned to her seat across from Kelsey, who was still covered in his cloak of darkness spell. Conryu waved his hand, and the darkness vanished. The guard's tight grip had raised a set of nasty bruises on Kelsey's wrist. "You okay?" he asked. "Yeah, but Mom's going to be really mad. I mean, I knew she wasn't going to be happy I ignored her order, but I never thought she'd send 2 of her personal bodyguards to drag me home." "Let me see your arm." Maria gently took Kelsey's bruised wrist in her hand. She chanted a spell and a bright glow surrounded her hand. She rubbed the injuries and Kelsey sighed. "You know," Maria said, "I wasn't thrilled when Conryu invited you to come for a visit. But if this is how your family treats you, I'm starting to think he should have offered to let you stay longer. There." The glow disappeared, revealing smooth, healed skin. "Thank you." Kelsey lunged across the little table and hugged Maria. "For everything." Conryu grinned and went back out to collect Kelsey's bags. He'd have to thank Kelsey's mother. Her thug's attack had done more to make Maria sympathetic to her problems than anything he could have said. Maybe, just maybe, the two of them would start getting along better now. He brought the bags inside and set them in the corner. There wasn't room enough in the overhead storage for 2 more suitcases. There also weren't enough chairs for all of them. He shrugged and sat on the floor, using her bags as a backrest. "I'm sorry." Kelsey started to get up. "I'm taking your chair." "Don't worry about it." He waved her back into the seat. "I doubt Dumb and Ugly will be back, but I'll feel better if I know where you are." "I heard you talking through the door." Kelsey sat back down. "Would you have really killed that guy?" "Nah, I'm not even sure if shatter will work on living flesh." In the storage area, Conryu's bag shifted and bounced. He sighed, stood up, and unzipped it. A t-shirt flew out and zoomed around the cabin like a cheap Halloween ghost. Prime's muffled voice was unintelligible. "Hold still." Prime hovered over the table and Conryu pulled the shirt off him. "What did you want?" "I eavesdropped on your conversation."